It is a time of firsts. The Triassic dawn, 200 million years ago. This world is an experiment, forged in harsh, arid extremes. Life itself is clawing its way back from oblivion.
This is a new design.
A predator built for this unforgiving landscape. It finds a carcass, a juvenile of its own species. There is no hesitation, only desperate hunger. A world where survival demands an unspeakable price. Meet the pioneer.
Designation: Coelophysis boweri.
Hollow form. A name earned from its hollow, bird-like bones.
This was not a heavyweight. It was a precision instrument.
Weight class, featherweight. Barely 30 kilograms and 3 meters in length. But this lightness was its revolutionary advantage.
The arena, the Triassic dawn.
200 million years ago, North America. Specifically, the seasonal, arid floodplains of New Mexico. A new fighting style built entirely on speed. To understand this fighter, we must understand its world. This was not the lush jungle of later ages. This was Pangaea. Single, supersized continent. Its interior was a vast, unforgiving desert. The climate was volatile, prone to extreme droughts and sudden, violent floods. The late Triassic was an age of ecological experiments and rapid failures. This was the crucible.
Specific arena for Coelophysis was the Chinle Formation.
A seasonal river system that cut through the arid plains. It was an oasis, and therefore it was a battleground. This was not yet a dinosaur's world. The land was ruled by other, stranger beasts. Giant, lumbering phytosaurs, crocodile cousins, dominated the waterways.
And towering over them all were the Rauisuchians, the true apex predators.
These were the 30-foot quadrupedal butchers of the Triassic. Against these giants, the small, lightly built Coelophysis was not a contender. It was prey.
Its entire existence was defined by staying out of sight.
Coelophysis was the hunter, but it was a new class of hunter, the ghost. It was an opportunist, a specialist in the shadows. It could not win a direct fight against the Titans.
It has evolved to never be caught in any situation.
Having narrowly escaped the jaws below, the Coelophysis must now recover its breath on the precarious ledge.
Primary weapon. The frame.
Its skeleton was a marvel of bioengineering. The bones were hollow, air-filled, and incredibly light.
Focus on the chest region reveals the furcula, or wishbone, highlighted in red, an important link in avian evolution.
It was an adaptation for agility, reducing weight to maximize speed. This warrior is built to move lightning fast.
Its long, slender legs and three-toed feet were designed for a rapid, efficient stride.
Secondary weapon. Precision jaws.
Its skull was delicate, filled with openings to save weight.
It was not a bone crusher.
It was armed with dozens of small, sharp, serrated teeth.
These were not hammers, they were scalpels, perfect for gripping small, fast prey. Lizards, insects, and the hatchlings of other dinosaurs.
It was a predator of the small and the weak.
The final weapon. Stereoscopic vision.
Its eyes were large and faced forward.
It could judge distance, track moving targets, and operate in low light.
It's a hunter who sees the world in 3 dimensions, a crucial advantage in a complex world.
Light frame, sharp teeth, and keen eyes. Was the toolkit of a survivor. But speed and stealth were not enough. The ultimate struggle for any dynasty is the future. For Coelophysis, this struggle is shrouded in a dark mystery.
At Ghost Ranch, New Mexico, a paleontological marvel was unearthed.
A graveyard containing hundreds, perhaps thousands, of Coelophysis.
Adults and juveniles, all buried together.
What was this place?
Desperate crowd, drawn to dwindling water in a drought, only to find death.
But newer analysis suggests a different culprit.
A sudden, catastrophic flood. A wall of water that buried them all instantly.
This paints a different picture of their lives.
Not isolated hunters, but social animals.
Were the adults protecting the young?
Or were they all just trapped in the wrong place?
Then, there is the darkest evidence of all.
Inside the gut cavities of several large adults were the bones of juvenile Coelophysis. This was the cannibal.
For years, this defined the species.
A monster that ate its own young.
Some scientists now believe the juvenile bones were actually small crocodiles.
But in the harsh reality of the Triassic, would a desperate parent truly refuse an easy meal? The nest for Coelophysis was a battlefield of absolute desperation. In the brutal calculus of the Chinle Formation, Coelophysis had few allies.
And it has overwhelming enemies. The primary threat, the giants. A creature like Postosuchus, a Rauisuchian.
It was the size of a truck, a bipedal nightmare of muscle and teeth.
Against this, Coelophysis had only one tactic.
Its entire hunter strategy was based on avoiding this apex.
But the giants weren't the only enemy.
water itself was hostile.
Dinosaurs, looking like crocodiles, waited patiently for any animal foolish enough to drink.
But the truest rival was itself.
Coelophysis was one of the most numerous predators in its environment.
They were all competing for the same limited resources.
Every other Coelophysis was a direct competitor for food, water, and territory. This is the Ghost Ranch scenario, a tactical chess match where the greatest foe is the one who shares your weapons.
The fight for survival wasn't just against other species.
It was a civil war. A constant, desperate scramble against its own kind. The Triassic experiment would eventually end. A mass extinction event cleared the board.
The giant Rauisuchians vanished.
The Phytosaurs gone.
But the dinosaurs survived. That light, hollow-boned frame. Fast, bipedal stance.
Forward-facing, predatory gaze.
Years later, this same design
Would produce Allosaurus, Velociraptor.
and the tyrant king itself, Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Coelophysis was not just a species.
It was the first draft of an empire.
We look at this fighter, this pioneer.
And we see the harsh price of innovation.
Coelophysis was a creature born of desperation. It was forced to live in the margins of a hostile world. It was the ghost that outlasted the giants.
You is the legacy of Coelophysis.
The weapons it forged, the nest it may have died for. Or the desperate struggle it endured at the dawn of an empire.
Whose survival chronicle should we reconstruct next?
Nominate a new paleontological record in the comments.